'cause I'm coming to get you, get you, get you. Hold on, I'm on my way. Yeah, 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 I'm on my way. Hold on, I'm on my way. Yeah, 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 I'm on my way.
Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me century. Doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all. Welcome to Wall Stadium for tonight's.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sammamish and around the country, around the world on the World Wide Web. This is Eastlake football. The sun is already set, and the sun is about to set on the Eastlake C Team season. Wolves come in at 4-3. Tonight they play the Bothell Cougars, who they lost to in Week 1, and the Wolves will look to avenge that loss, a close one, 21-19 back in the first week of school. So the Wolves look like they have orchestrated to receive the opening kickoff tonight. Coach Ed Kinney leads his team in, getting the special teams set. And the Wolves will line it up along the front line with their typical return unit. 5 along the front and staggered returners behind them. Connor Karsh and George Hunkins back deep to receive. Well, it's a little overcast here at game time. I'm not sure if it's a full moon tonight, but the Wolves are howling nonetheless. Bothell gets ready to tee it up and kick it away to the Wolves.
Go Eastlake!
So kicking off for the Cougars is number 4. That's Hudson Hahn. Hudson also plays a little bit of quarterback for the Cougars, and the kick's away. It looks like it's going to be fielded by Karsh just inside the Wolves' 20. Karsh returns up the right side. He's got a block. He's got a wall. He's got some room. He's gone. All the way over the 50-yard line, spun down finally at the Cougars' 42, 43-yard line. And the Wolves will be in plus territory to start the game tonight.
First down for the Eastlake Wolves.
Pretty terrific blocking and a well-executed kickoff return there for the Wolves to give themselves a great advantage coming into the game tonight. As always, the Wolves will be led by quarterback Connor Karsh, who just returned that kick. And the Wolves look like they're about as healthy as they've been in weeks this evening. A few guys down in street clothes on the sideline, but it looks like the same offensive line they've been running with for most of the season. Karsh starts behind center with George Hunkins, as usual, at running back. Trips to the left on the opening play. Karsh fakes a handoff inside to Hunkins, rolls right, comes back across the grain. He's looking for blocks and slides down for no gain at the 43-yard line.
Quarterback keeper for Connor Karsh.
Well, a lot of running around, but no yards picked up for the Wolves there, so it will be 2nd and 10.
Second down.
Looked like on that play, Karsh was looking at a one-receiver pattern to the right and just couldn't get any separation. So a little improv, come back across the grain, and nothing doing. Karsh is back to the huddle now. All right, so twins to the left and single receiver out to the right. Abhinav Macha is in at a tight end spot there. Here comes Hunkins up the middle, and he'll pick up 4. That'll make it 3rd down and 6 for the Wolves.
Ball carried by number 13, George Hunkins for a gain. Tackle made by the Cougars, number 77, Liam Sherber. It's 3rd down.
Well, a little quieter than usual in here tonight. I am unfortunately without my tag team partner and cohort, Jim Ort, the president. Jim's away on some personal travel, but I know he's tuning in from over there in Idaho. So, Jim, welcome to the broadcast. Wish you were here with us, man. We miss you already. Wolves come out on this 3rd and 6 with trips out to the right to the far side of the field. Karsh behind center. Goes with his hard count and looks like he drew him off sides. Yep, they got a jump in the middle. And that'll give the Wolves 5 more. It'll make it 3rd and 1. So they don't pick up the first down with that, but they sure get into a much more manageable down and distance at 3rd and 1. And you'd have to think on this point in the field, it's 4-down territory anyhow. So Coach Ed Kinney will draw up what he wants to see here and give the play to Karsh, who's over on the sideline dutifully. The rest of the fellows are muddled up in a huddle back around the 50. Come the Wolves breaking the huddle, and they're going to send trips out to the right once again, try to spread the Cougars out. Working against the play clock at this point. Karsh gets the snap, fakes the handoff to Hunkins, keeps it himself, comes around the left end, gets down to the 30-yard line, and that'll be good enough for a first down. So Karsh picks up the first down. The Wolves have it at the Cougar 30, and the clock will start back up. About 7.5 minutes left here in the first quarter, and Eastlake on the march using that terrific field position to start the game, and as usual operating at a pace that suits the Wolves. They seem to have favored shortening games this year by extending the time of possession and trying to execute their plays really well, being more mindful of the execution and picking up yardage than hurrying up. Jack Crandall checks into the game as a back in front of Hunkins to help lead the way, but Hunkins doesn't like what he sees inside, tries to pop it outside and tests the Bothell defense, and they are up to the challenge. They were quick enough to stay with him, run him sideways, and Hunkins loses a couple on the play, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 12.
The Cougars number 10, Colin Moore, brings up 2nd down.
Wolves now operating over on the far hash mark near the Bothell bench. Karsh has the play. He's running back in. And it is clear skies tonight and pleasant weather here, about 50 degrees at game time, and there's no rain in the forecast. So the Wolves should have a dry field, and the Cougars should have a dry field to operate with tonight. You might expect to see the ball thrown a little bit more because of that. Wolves bring trips all the way out here to the wide side of the field, really spread the Cougars out over here. Karsh is back to pass on an empty backfield, 2nd and 12, but immediately takes off and immediately pays a price for doing so. He's going to fall forward for a yard, maybe a yard and a half, but that shut down in a hurry, and it'll leave the Wolves with a 3rd down and 11.
Brought down by several Cougars. It's 3rd down. What's a cat?
Folks, if anybody wants to text in to me, we're wondering what a group of cougars would be. We know that crows come in murders and certain animals have herds or packs, but there doesn't seem to be consensus up in the booth tonight on what exactly a whole bunch of cougars would be. A pride of cougars. That seems to be the going guess. We'll see about that. We'll try to confirm that for you during the broadcast. Meanwhile, Wolves try to run a little power play there in an empty backfield. They brought in an extra blocker with Jack Crandall and pulled the left guard Chris Brookshire around to lead there and get a kick-out block, but only picks up a few, so the Wolves are going to have a 4th down and 7, and here's the first big test of the game. Wolves have the ball, and we'll check that. We'll call that a long 7. The ball's marked in between the 28 and 27-yard line for the Wolves, far hash mark. And this is do-or-die time for the Wolves here on their opening drive. Already halfway done with the first quarter, down to 4 minutes, 20 seconds left. Connor's back into the huddle with the play. The Wolves are shuffling personnel around an awful lot early, subbing receivers for backs and backs for receivers. And a little bit disorganized, the Wolves go ahead and use their first time out of the half to make sure they've got everything dialed in just the way they want it for this very critical 4th down and a long 7. Well, folks, it would be a great time for us to go ahead and mention some sponsors. We'll give thanks to all of our sponsors overall for just another great year with Wolves football. We thank one and all for participating and helping us out for the year. Here we go. Well, let's just start it off this way. We'll say hello and thank you to our friends at the Pine Lake Ale House. Thank you, Pine Lake Ale House, for your years of support to Eastlake High School. Please join us for breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays. Pine Lake Ale House, craft beverages, tasty eats, good times, and the best atmosphere in town. Plain and simple, they couldn't say it any better. I know my partner in crime, Jim, out there in Idaho, hopefully not too thirsty tonight, but I know if he was thirsty, he'd be thinking of the Pine Lake Ale House. Oh, and we've got more coming. Here we go, Kinson and Kinson Homes. Always good to say hi to Debbie Kinson, our friend. Thank you for your years of support to Eastlake football, as well as other clubs and programs. Kinson and Kinson Homes, Eastside and Seattle home experts. So again, 4th and a long 7 now for the Wolves. They're going to try to spread the Cougars out. They got Macha in the slot left with Case and Goldie split out left. Twins also to the right. Looks like that's Finn 7 and Nico Frantella over there. Karsh is back, fakes an inside handoff, tries to go deep. Does, connects. And that is, here comes the replay. That's number 2, who we don't even have on the roster, but that's, well, we got some initials. That's DJ, and that was a heck of a catch. He went right up and got that ball and looked very competitive in going up and just snatching it out of the air. That looked like a big-time catch. Takes the Wolves down inside the Cougar 5, so they're in goal to go now. And a great chance for the Wolves to get on the board early here. 3 to the left here as Karsh is behind center with Hunkins offset to the right. They run quarterback power, and Connor Karsh walks into the end zone almost untouched. Touchdown, Eastlake. We get a replay on that. We're going to see our good friend, number 56, Chris Brookshire. He's going to pull right around behind that center to get a kick-out block. And with the fake to Hunkins, Connor has all kinds of running room in that little lane there, and doesn't even run into a Cougar till he's at the goal line. So that's a pretty easy one for the Wolves. They got to like that. And it looks like the Wolves are going to keep the offense on the field rather than kick the PAT. They're going to go for 2 here.
Can you help me responding, please? Do you know not what you So basically, the binoculars, you tell me the action offense.
So the Wolves break the huddle, and here they come. They got trips out to the right. Hunkins in the backfield with Karsh. Offset to the left. Case and Goldie's one-on-one at the bottom of your screen. It's an inside handoff to Hunkins. He drags defenders with him, and hey, here we go. George Hunkins into the end zone. That's another 2. So the Wolves are up 8-0 now with 3 minutes 33 seconds left in the first quarter.
Seconds left in the first quarter. It's the Wolves 8, the Cougars 0.
Well, we got a little break as the team set up their special teams now. We'll go ahead and bring up some messages from additional sponsors. We want to say thank you to LBM Travel, not just for the sponsorship this season, but all their support. LBM Travel, let Leanne be your expert guide to travel and savings. Holidays are coming up. I know a lot of you are thinking about it. Please do reach out to Leanne. She's a terrific helper. Help you save and get to where you need to go safely and soundly. So the Wolves with an opportunistic field position on their opening drive. They start in plus territory. They pay it off with the touchdown, and they eat up almost 6.5 minutes of clock there in that first quarter. In the first meeting between these two games, the Wolves' defense had a little trouble stopping the Bothell Cougars' running attack, especially in the middle of the field. Between the 20s, the Bothell Cougars chewed up an awful lot of yards. The Wolves did, to their credit, kind of crank down the defense once the Cougars got into the red zone. They did hold them to just the 3 touchdowns and were able to block a field goal in that game. But I think if the Wolves could do anything tonight, they'd really, really love to see the defense do a better job in the middle of the field and maybe not give up so many big gainers. So kickoff returned by Bryce Trammell for the Bothell Cougars, and he runs the ball all the way back out to the 40-yard line. So it's not in plus territory, but it is a short field for the Cougars as they start their first possession at their own 40.
First down, Cougars.
Wolves have that big, long, rangy defensive line in there, anchored by Big Jack Ort, 77. But you look at the rest of those bodies, and they're all long and lean fellas. Charlie Jensen, Cody Peck, And one of my favorite guys, Abhinav Macha, number 32. Now they bring Chris Brookshire down for a 5-down lineman in there, and they're really going to pack it in here. And if I had to guess, it looked like they were trying to key on the fullback there for Bothell. Good strategy, but not well executed. And Tyler Wells, number 18, the running back who tormented the Wolves last time around, picks up 7 on his first carry, and that'll give the Cougars a 2nd and 3. So the Wolves in their usual 4-2, and once again Brookshire walks down onto the line. He's going to go right over the top of that guard in front of that fullback. That time ball carrier wrapped up, first met by George Hunkins, and George doesn't give much ground there. He picks up maybe another yard after contact, but it'll at least force the Cougars to go for it on a 3rd and 1 here from their own 49. And the Wolves are getting some penetration. They're trying to overwhelm the point of attack, and you can see the offensive linemen being occupied by those linemen up there. When you got a guy as quick as George Hunkins that can run side to side with the best of them, that ought to free him up and keep him able to track down the ball carrier.
Eastlake, stand on your feet. It's 3rd down.
Okay, so Bothell, 3rd, and we'll call it a long 1 here. It's in between the 48 and 49-yard line. Wolves are right there. Don't go jumping on the hard count, boys. There we go. Ball snapped right into the middle. They get to him. They stop him. They stack him up, and he is thrown for a, well, we'll call it a mini loss. It may be a no gainer. No, the officials are going to go ahead and mark it back about half a yard, so it'll be, it looks like the football's just inside the Bothell 48 now, and that'll be 4th and 2. We'll see what the Cougars decide to do. Well, I stand corrected. Coach Ort was able to join us after all. We just heard some of his good soundbite over the PA system here. So 4th and 2, getting the home crowd riled up. And it's maybe not a capacity crowd, but about as many people in the stands tonight as we've seen for a C-team game this year. So the Cougars spread it out with twins to the left, single receiver to the right. Still going to hand it off up in the middle. And Abhinav Macha wraps him up. He tries to stretch the ball out, but that's not going to be good enough. And Eastlake will take over on downs once again in Bothell territory.
Tackle made by number 2, Abhinav Macha.
So if the early returns are any indication, the Wolves have course-corrected since the first time they faced these Cougars. And aside from the first play gashing them for about 7 yards, the Wolves look pretty good right there, getting the stop. And they now have the ball back with just under a minute left first quarter. Not sure if we'd call that a long 59 seconds or a short minute right there, Sean, but 59 and a half seconds left according to the scoreboard. Karsh runs back out to the huddle, get this second drive underway. Wolves will look to add to their lead here. Twins to either side. That's DJ and Frantel out to the right, top of your screen. Macha and Goldie down at the bottom of your screen. Hunkins in the backfield with Karsh. Fakes the inside handoff. Once again, they run quarterback power. Once again, Connor Karsh has a lot of room up the middle. He's getting spun forward for 9 yards. He's down to the 39-yard line, and that'll be a 2nd and 1 coming up for the Wolves. Nice gainer right there. Once again on the replay here, you'll see Chris Brookshire, 56, pull around. You see him kick that end. Probably need to get his hands inside a little bit more. We don't want to get called for a ticky-tack hold right there, but sealing that off just gives a lane for Connor to run through. And sooner or later, if the Cougars adjust to this and start trying to take away the quarterback run, we all know what that means. Give it to 13, give it to 3, let those two guys do their thing. So 2nd and 1 just inside the 40 here. The Wolves break the huddle. They'll have trips out to the right. Connor's in an empty backfield. This time they've got slot left to go with those trips to the other side. Maybe they're going to take a shot here. Connor straight back. Quick pass rush. Throws deep. Throws it deep. Hunkins catches it at the 10. Makes a man miss. He's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown, Eastlake. Wow. The guy isn't just a bruiser. He's pretty elusive when he gets the chance. And looked like 2 receivers could have caught that ball. Hunkins goes up and gets it. And here come the subs. Okay, Andrew Grant back in uniform. There's number 20. He's going to kick a PAT. Good for you, Andrew. It's good to see you back, buddy. Really glad he could suit up tonight. So the Wolves will line up for a PAT here.
Extra point.
Snapper on this is going to be Jack Crandall. Holder is going to be our quarterback, Connor Karsh. So the Wolves score on the last play of the first quarter with no time left. This is an untimed down right here on the try. Snap is high. It goes way over Connor's head. Andrew's going to go back and fall on it, and nothing doing for the Wolves right there, unfortunately. So they're going to have to settle for a 14-0 lead, but I think that's a first quarter everybody in the stadium on the Eastlake side would have signed up for.
The extra point is no good.
Since we're between quarters, yeah. Oh, we'll see the touchdown again. That's great. Connor takes a nice shot there and just stays poised throwing that ball down the field. Frantella was in the neighborhood, so was Hunkins, both running posts, and Hunkins comes down with it. So George into the end zone for a touchdown, and now there's confusion about which way the Wolves want to kick off. They don't realize it's the second quarter. Well, since we're between quarters and we're lining up some special teams, we'll give a shout out to one of our sponsors anyways, the fine folks at Bradley Distributing. Bradley Distributing, big thank you guys. We appreciate you helping families in the East Side with trusted appliances and great service. Can't say enough about Bradley Appliances. So Grant gets ready to kick it off here to Bothell, and Bothell's running guys out on the field. They look like they're settled finally. 5 up front. Very similar looking return scheme to the Wolves, and we'll see what happens here. Grant's ready. They have the whistle. Here he comes. And he kicks away. Up the right sideline towards the Eastlake bench. Bothell tries to return to the middle. He cuts it back outside. Nice job on the containment right there. Well done by the Wolves gunners, staying outside and maintaining their leverage. That looked like it was number 10, Case and Goldie, involved with that.
For the Cougars. Tackle made by number 81, Charlie Jensen.
Yes, and Charlie Jensen in on that tackle as well. Well done by those guys. And you know, having had the chance to be around a lot of these boys last year, Charlie Jensen was a first-year player, and he's one of the guys on this freshman squad that you can just look at and say, what a year 2 leap he's made. He's really had a lot of opportunities up here, playing 2 ways on the line, and he's just had a terrific season. He's not the only one, but can't say enough good things about Charlie and just the season he's had, the contributions he's made to this team, and just his personal growth. He was always an athletic guy, but boy, he looks like a football player now. So Bothell back to pass here. And quarterback, he's a lefty. He rolls out to his right. That's always a tough throw to make. He tries to check down into the flat, but dials long distance, didn't have the right area code. No connection. Something went amiss. And, well, it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Cougars here with. They have the ball back a little deeper this time in their own end, starting from their 32-yard line. Wolves will take that play. 2nd and 10. Defensive starters out there tonight. Like I said before, the usual suspects up front, Hunkins and Brookshire at the linebacker. You got Frantella, you got Crandall, you got Connor Karsh out there in the secondary, and there's Karsh right there, right on cue, cuts down the running back on a little off-tackle stretch play for the Cougs. They pick up 7. That'll make it a tougher 3rd down for the Wolves to stop. They've got a little work cut out for them there, but good adjustment by the Cougars to start running outside when the inside game wasn't working on the first drive. So decent pursuit by the Wolves there, just couldn't quite close that lane down and pick up a 7. As mentioned in the back end, we've also got number 2 DJ out there along with Case and Goldie, number 10. So Wolves here will be looking to disrupt, try to get a little penetration from those big fellers up front and see if they can't just knock the Cougars backward here on 3rd and 3. Once again, Brookshire up to the line. He goes over the right side. There goes the ball, and there he's right there to meet him, right there. Whole bunch of Wolves in on that, but that was quick penetration, and you couldn't ask for more from the defensive line on that because they got in there and just chewing up blockers. Yeah, it's Macha and Brookshire on the tackle. They converge on the ball carrier right there. I'll meet you at the ball carrier. Sounds good to me. Let's go do it. So 4th and 3, Wolves have another chance to force a 4 and out here from the Cougars, and they get the ball in very enviable position. Coach is yelling, watch the football from the sideline. That's so that we don't fall for the old hard count trick and give them a freebie. jet sweep to number 18. He's off tackle to the right. He's going to pick up the first down. Just first tackler couldn't get him, and that's once again number 18, Tyler Wells.
Tyler Wells, which is good enough.
He's a talented runner, that Wells. He gave the Wolves fits the first time, and here he comes on a jet sweep right here.
56, Chris Brookshire and Connor Karch.
So the Wolves need to pick up a little bit better pace on those jet sweeps to beat the runner to the spot, and they'll have a chance to do that again, I have no doubt. So Cougs pick up a first down. They're still in their own territory, just shy of the 50 at the 48. Spread Eastlake out now. They got twins to either side. Here comes number 9 on a jet sweep motion. They're going to hand it off to him, and he's going to meet Mr. Hunkins. Wow. So similar looking play, much different result. Looks like the Wolves threw him for a little bit of a loss right there. And that's number 9, Xavier Haynes, but boy, oh boy. Nobody accounted for number 13, and he made the Cougars pay for that. So 2nd and 11 now for Bothell from their 47. Coming up on 7 minutes left in the half. And Bothell's got a new quarterback in the game. They started with Hudson Hawk, number 4. They've now got Tillman Hutton in the game, number 11. And he tries to take off. There's going to be a flag on the play. It looks like maybe there could have been a face mask there. We'll see what the officials sort out, but he got stopped dead in his tracks. Yeah, we always try to teach the kids to tackle with their feet, meaning get your feet into a good position so that you don't get your other stuff in a bad position. But right there, that's the difference between being out of your space by about a foot, foot and a half. Start reaching and bad things happen. We get a face mask, and Bothell will happily take those yards. It'll give them a first down. No, it won't. It's ruled an incidental. Ruled an incidental, so it's only a 5-yard. They'll mark the ball forward 5 yards. It'll be a second down now and 6. Bothell breaks the huddle, trips out to the left. They're trying to go deep and doesn't find anybody. That's number 4, Hudson Hahn, back in the game at quarterback. He's trying to find Colin Moore down the field on a post, but in trying to avoid the safety, just overthrew it just out of his reach. So that falls harmlessly to the turf, and the Cougars will have a 3rd down and 6.
I didn't understand.
It was overthrown, really. Wasn't really broken out. Yeah, it just was beyond him. So the Cougars break the huddle here. They're going to have twins to the left and a couple guys in the backfield. This is their power run formation. They have been running straight ahead of this, but they fake the handoff. Here comes number 11, the little lefty. He's on the toss. He's able to connect with his receiver down to the Wolves' 35-yard line, tackled there by Connor Karsh. Didn't look like much, but he's down on his back, and we're going to have an official timeout for a player injury. So that looked like their slot receiver. I think that might have been number 12, but I can't get a number on it. Regardless, he's down. He's on his back. Trainers are attending to him, so we'll take a little break right here and give props to our wonderful sponsors once again. Let's talk about our friend Cheryl Hill. How about that? Cheryl, last time I do this to you, but give a shout out to our friend Riley Rue at home. Cheryl Hill, Compass Real Estate, helping some Amish neighbors find their place to call home. Thank you, Cheryl Hill, for your support of Eastlake football. We really appreciate you. So the Cougars will have it 1st and 10 at the Eastlake 35 when we resume play. Still attending to that player down. I think what might have happened there is that he may have fallen on the football, and between falling on the football, which I've got to tell you, it doesn't feel great. And then having a defender come down on top of you, that can knock the wind out of you pretty good. So I'm sure he's going to get up, walk off on his own, and be A-okay. But in the meantime, he's not feeling wonderful. That's a tough situation to be in. They're going to actually walk him across the Eastlake bench. Looks like he's kind of favoring a shoulder, so we hope that's okay for him. But well, we hope that young fella is okay. It looks like that's. We're trying to get a number on him so we can tell you who it is, and just sorry to see anybody get hurt. We think that might be 32 to a Baker, but unsure. We'll try to get an update on that. We hope he's able to come back from whatever that ailment is. So the Cougars, with a receiver to either side, they're in a pro backfield shotgun. Here comes number 22, motions out, motions back in. They fake the jet sweep. It's a counter play, and that's 18. Hunkins catches up with him, grabs him from behind, helps wrestle him down, but not before he picks up 8 yards. So a little bit of a decoy there and distraction, testing the Wolves' discipline, and everybody went with the motion man. Nobody paid attention to that guy who's been hurting them, number 18. So pretty good play design there by the Cougars. They pick up 8, and it's going to be 2nd and 2 now from the Eastlake 27. I think if I'm Coach Ed Kinney, I'm probably telling my defense, yeah, that's great, let him run around. Don't let 18 beat us. He's been a handful. So hand off to 18 once again. He's stacked up inside, and he's going nowhere this time. Lots of Wolves around him. Too much of a crowd to tell you who got the initial contact, but that closed down in a hurry, and that's what we're always trying to do. Let's make that running back run into a phone booth for all intents and purposes, and that's about what happened right there. You see everything collapse, and just a whole bunch of black hats around him. So nice job by the defense to rally to the football there, tackle as a team, and they set up a 3rd down and 3 now for Bothell. And the Wolves have to be thinking stop here. We're under 5 minutes to go in the half. They'd love to get the ball back and have one more crack at putting a score on the board. So 3rd and 3. Cougars in their power running formation, shotgun with an offset back. Here's Jack Ort giving chase.
Big Jack Ort.
Meet me at the quarterback.
For the Eastlake Wolves, bringing down the quarterback.
Offensive line looked a little bit like a screen door right there, and they go back in their pass pro, and nobody really got a hand on 77, and even a guy, Jack's not the most fleet of foot, but if they don't get a hand on him and he's got a clear shot to the quarterback, it's usually going to go pretty well for Eastlake. So that's a loss of 10 on the play. Big sack for the Wolves, and now the defense has a real good chance of getting off the field. We'll see with the personnel changes here by Bothell whether they're going to actually run a play here or maybe just try to punt and pin Eastlake deep. The Wolves do have 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining. Remember, they used one earlier on a 4th down call. Cougars do have their offense on the field. They're in a formation, trips to the right. Quarterback number 11 is back to pass. That's Hutton. And wow, just too much room, unbelievable. They're able to pick up 15 yards and a 1st down. Looks like we've got a flag back by the original line of scrimmage. Not sure what that's about. We'll see the officials somehow help the Wolves bail out of this situation. That just cannot happen. Too much space out there.
Number 10, Casey Goldie pushed him out of bounds for the Wolves. Flag on the play.
So, ineligible man downfield. The Wolves will get another chance at this, and on 4th and 18, one would have to hope that the Wolves will tighten up enough to, hey, it's one thing, guys, to allow a catch, right? But we want to keep that receiver catching the ball well before the sticks so we can rally to him and get the ball back for our offense. So 4th and 18 now. The Cougars march back all the way back to the Eastlake 43. And this is a whole lot of real estate to pick up. Here comes Hutton back out to the huddle. Well, we've had parking lot delays. We've had drone delays. We've had all kinds of issues in the stadium this year. Visitors showing up late for the first time. I'm hearing a dog barking tonight, so that's a new one. Wolves get to the quarterback once again, and it's a whole bunch of pressure, but it's Jensen and Macha in the end that combined on the sack. I almost said snack there, and maybe that would be appropriate. These guys chowing down on the pass rush. They just are able to pin their ears back right there. And once again, Big Jack Ort comes through, makes the quarterback step up in the pocket, and there's Charlie, there's Abanov waiting patiently and ready to make the play. So Ends up being about a 4-yard sack, and the Wolves take over very close to midfield. They'll be at their own, we'll call it the 48, as they get ready to go to work here with 3 minutes, 41 seconds left in the second quarter. Here comes Karsh into the huddle with the play. And boy, the Wolves would love to stick one more in the end zone here before the half and really put Bothell on the back foot going into the second half. So empty backfield. Trips to the left. Twins out here to the right, closer to us on the bottom of your screen. Connor's all alone back there. You'd have to think pass. And the Wolves can't remember what the count is, and that's going to march them back 5 yards. Not how you want to start a drive. It's cost of doing business sometimes when you want to run on something other than one. But as we tell the players, you have to be able to run on something other than on one. Otherwise, the defense is going to have quite the jump. So Wolves will try to overcome that little misstep. They're gonna have 1st and 15. Karsh back to the huddle. No time elapses there because it's a dead ball foul. So clock is holding at 3:41. Wolves have plenty of time, even by their pace, which can sometimes be a little glacial. They have plenty of time to get down here and add on to the lead. So Karsh wide center with trips to the left. Hands it off to Hunkins over the left side. He gets past the guard. He gets into space. He cuts it back right to the outside. Past the numbers. Down the sideline. He's not going to make it, but he picks up a chunk.
Run by number 13, George.
I don't see any laundry on the field, so this should stand. Hunkins picks up about 40 yards on the play. We'll call it 40, 45, 46 yards on the play. And that's just George Hunkins being George Hunkins. He doesn't need a lot of room. He's very elusive. When he gets a little bit of space, he can make guys miss. And once he turns that corner, then it's just a foot race. So the Wolves have it all the way down to the Bothell 12. 3:31. George was pushed out of bounds there, so the clock holds on the play. About the only thing bad you can say about that is that if they score too quickly here, they may give Bothell back the ball with plenty of time. And Cougs do have all their timeouts, but I think the Wolves will take 21-0 and be very, very happy about that if they can capitalize on this opportunity. So Karsh breaks the huddle. Macha is a twin in the slot out to the far side. Close side, that's DJ and Frantella. Crandall checks into the game, gets the ball, and is immediately met. Didn't have a lot of help up front that time. Great penetration by the Cougars. That'll be a short loss. We'll move the Wolves back to the 14-yard line. And I don't care who you are as a running back. If you're getting hit in the backfield, it's awfully hard to get yourself going. Wolves tried to run a little, they tried to pull around right there, and that just didn't work out too well. That was 78 Julian Meyer on the pull, but I think the Cougs just shot that gap and kind of overwhelmed the play and didn't really have a chance to get that one off the ground. So clock keeps moving. That's the good thing. Wolves still have the ball. It's 2nd and 12 now from the Bothell 14-yard line. Trips out to the left for Karsh. He's still got Crandall in the backfield with him. He's going to fake the handoff up inside. He's going to go to the air. He's trying to lob one up. And no flag on the play, just incidental contact out there, according to the official. So got a little physical down there in the corner. I kind of like the no call right there. Guys have to be able to play. It's a good chance. It was a nice ball by Connor. He puts a lot of air on this, gives his guy DJ a chance to go up and get it. Just didn't work out for the Wolves right there. So got to like that. It's a good opportunity. You'd just like to see the receiver maybe go up and high point that ball, but a good try for the Wolves. And now it'll be 3rd and 12. They break the huddle, and here comes big Matthew Fadul, number 65, up there, leading that offensive line. Trips to the left once again, fakes the handoff once again. Same play. This time he's wide open and jumps too soon. Oh, boy. He just wants to have that one back in the worst way because he was wide open. It was a fine ball. DJ just jumped up a little too soon and mistimed the jump, and that's the difference between the catch and the ball just falling right over his head right there. Too bad. So 4th down and 12 now. The Wolves had the right call there and caught Bothell napping. Didn't execute it. We'll see what Karsh comes in with from Coach Ed Kinney. Coach has had a lot of really good answers for this offense, especially as the season's progressed. He's gotten a feel for these players and what they do well. And the Wolves have been very opportunistic. They've run a good offense here for the month of October.
Elsie, where are you going?
All right, empty backfield now. Karsh is back to pass. He's going to go across the middle. Ball's just a little too high. Can't tell if he was going for, looked like it was Case and Goldie right there that he was shooting for, but just a little too tall. So the Wolves turn it over on downs, down in deep. So Bothell has a long field to look at. Unfortunate for the Wolves, they couldn't capitalize on the big gain by Hunkins, but well, we'll call that a very effective punt. With 2:25 left, Bothell will take over way back inside their own 15. So we'll see what happens here in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm sure it'll be exciting. Coming up at the half, we have this week's edition of The Den with David Oliphant and Jeremy Budish. Got a chance to talk to Coach Budish a little bit earlier today. A lot of fun for the varsity as they start getting ready for Newport coming to visit on Halloween night this Friday. All right, Bothell fakes the inside handoff, and wow, he is wrapped up immediately. As soon as the quarterback turned around from the fake handoff, he had a player in his face. It was big penetration by Ort once again, but that's not who got to the quarterback. I think that was Hunkins. Yeah, Hunkins came on the Mike blitz, and there he goes. He's just right into his grill before he really can do anything. And other guys just looking around, waiting for the opportunity to hit him in case he gets loose. But that backs Bothell up all the way to their 2. Wow, loss of 12 on the play. And now the Wolves' defense has to be frothing at the mouth and thinking safety. Hey, if the offense can't score, the defense can. We'll see if the Wolves can do this. They bring Brookshire up to the line once again, so they got 5 down linemen. They're going to be looking for penetration. They run away from him, but that ball carrier falls out of the end zone. Made contact in the end zone, but he was able to fall forward, gets it back out to the 2. I think the Wolves are going to spend a timeout. Yes, they do. So with 2, got to kill the clock, guys. We're at home.
It's timeout.
Oh, I'm looking at the replay. Thank goodness. Okay, clock stopped ticking. We're a minute and a half left. 1 minute, 30 seconds. We'll still have a timeout. It's going to be 3rd down and a whole heck of a lot. 3rd and 22 for the Cougars when they break their huddle. And the Wolves get the defense organized. They're looking for pressure and opportunity here. They'd love to try to get a defensive score here. Well, we've got a minute. Yeah, sure. Let's bring up there we go. Bradley, here we go. Bradley Distributing. Big thank you to Bradley Appliances, helping families in the East Side with trusted appliances and great service. Boy, I got to tell you, folks, the more middle-aged I get, the harder and harder it is to read this small font. There's just nothing easy about it. Bradley, thank you for your support of Eastlake football. We appreciate you guys. Well, this is just fun. We've got a little Halloween music here going in the stadium. That's Father John Tracy doing his thing over there. There's nobody better. He is. I first met this fella DJing Little League games up at East Sammamish Park back in 2022 or 21, I think it was. It's been a minute. That's pretty good. So the Wolves crowd the line of scrimmage. Once again, they're going to try to take away that run. Bothell fakes it up inside. Quarterback rolls. He's looking for a guy in a crosser, and we might have an interception. Nope, ball hit the ground. Case and Goldie dove for it. He sold out. He made a heck of an effort. Just wasn't able to come down with it. But you can't fault the effort right there. 10 sold out. Just didn't come up with it. You can see him sagging back into his zone here. And this ball goes right over the head of that receiver. And, boy, that was awfully close. That was awfully close. Players all thought he had it. I think it looked like, from our vantage point, we couldn't see for sure, so we have to assume it was a trap. But Bothell lines up in a punt formation here. Let's hope that the soccer goal behind them is something of a foreshadowing. Maybe the ball gets snapped over his head and right into the goal. Eastlake will take a safety any way they can get it, but it is a good snap. Eastlake puts on the rush. Hunkins gets close, but not sure who fielded the punt there. That might have been Jack Crandall. I didn't have a number on that. Nope, that's number 9. That's Nico Frantella. Fields the punt cleanly, picks up a couple yards on the return down to the 24-yard line, but he's slow to get up. He got hit pretty hard there over near the Bothell sideline, and there will be a timeout for a player injury. That is Nico Frantella over there on the far side, so we'll get the trainers out to see him. And if Misery Loves Company is true, then number 32, Tua Baker from Bothell, who we haven't seen back, he can give Nico company over there in the injury tent. So we hope both of those guys are okay and at least get back for the second half. Since we've got a moment, let's pull out our handy dandy copy points and let's talk about one of our sponsors. Hey, I don't even need copy for these guys. Pine Lake Ale House? Yeah, you betcha. Pine Lake Ale House, what can I say about these folks? I've known Kevin and his staff for years. They're wonderful people. They do have terrific food. They do have the best atmosphere in town. They do have craft beverages. If you need a place to go for your final, if you need a place to go to have a little coaches meeting or just watch the game, your team, whoever they may be, head on down to the Ale House. Friendliest staff, great food, lots of selections. Get down to the Pine Lake Ale House. Pine Lake, we sure appreciate your support of Eastlake athletics and Eastlake football. So Frantella's up and gets a nice applause from the crowd. Here he comes over to the sideline, slowly but surely. And the Wolves, with 1:14 left and one timeout, are going to have an opportunity to maybe get that elusive third touchdown after all before halftime. Once again, want to remind all of you to stay with us during the half because this week's edition of The Den with David Oliphant and Jeremy Budish coming up at halftime. Also want to remind everybody that the Eastlake varsity plays a league crossover game this Friday night at home. It's for Halloween night at home this Friday against the Newport High School football team. They'll be coming to visit, and that's a pretty important game for the Wolves, so come on out and support the fellas. All right, Karsh behind center here. Wolves get ready to go. Trips to the left. Twins out to the right. He's going to go across the middle. He's looking for Hunkins. Great play by the Bothell safety. Hunkins had the ball in his hand, and it got popped right out of there. That's a really nice defensive play by Bothell.
Good play broken up by Cougar. We missed
So it'll be
the number, but excellent defensive play. It brings
so
up second down.
So 2nd down and 10. I see that the officials have marked it at the 25, not the 24, so I'll correct that. Wolves operating at the Bothell 25. Far hash out by the Bothell sideline. 1:10 left here, and on the incompletion, clock stops. Wolves have plenty of time to operate. Karsh is back into the huddle with the play. Folks, while the kids are in the huddle and they break huddle here, I want to say thanks to Sean Crandall, who's been here all year doing all the setup and tear down of all of our equipment to bring you these broadcasts. The guy is a tireless worker, and he's not just doing it for the C-team games. He's doing it for the varsity as well. Well, there's an interception, and who else, right? It's got to be number 18, and he is going to have a house call right there. Touchdown Cougars, and just like that, where Eastlake's looking for a 3-score lead, it is now a 1-score game with 54 seconds left and the PAT pending. My goodness. Well, unfortunately, when we're getting the replay here, we're just going to see him run really fast, but the catch was pretty good. He went up and got it. I don't think Connor saw him. It seemed like that one's one where he just missed the fact that there was missed the underneath defender there, and he just kind of reached up with his big paws and went and got it. So Bothell sends out their PAT unit here, and the Wolves respond by bringing in their defenders for PAT. And we'll see how this goes. Bothell's kicking game pretty reliable the first time around when we played them in early September, but of course the Wolves did get some penetration. They were able to block a couple of field goals. One of them got returned for a touchdown by Connor Karsh, and Mr. Hunkins wanted to block that so bad he went ahead and came early. So they'll mark that yardage off towards the goal line, and now it becomes probably tempting for Bothell to think about going for 2.
Half the distance.
So instead of at the 3-yard line, they'll now be at about the 1.5. Officials mark the ball, but they're going to go ahead and just keep the unit out there to kick it. So
Number 4, Hudson Hans, the kicker for the Cougars, will attempt the extra point.
So here comes Bothell with the PAT. Snaps back and down. Kick is up and good, but it was a pre-snap penalty once again. And once again, Eastlake jumps the snap count, trying to just get a little advantage. But they will mark the ball now inside the 1-yard line. And here comes, not surprising, here comes the Bothell offense. They're going to go ahead and make Eastlake pay for this by going for 2.
Is another half the distance, moving the ball closer to the end zone.
So the Cougars are going to try to cut into this lead a little bit more than they would have with the kick. It's 14-6 now. In a moment, we'll see what the score looks like. Yeah, so here comes the quarterback. That's number 11, Tillman Hutton, once again. 5'10" and 144 pounds, according to the Bothell roster. And he looks every bit of 5'10". He's a long one over there. And he's got his partner in crime over there. That's Wells in the backfield with him. He's back to pass here. He's looking for a guy in the flat. Off the hands of the receiver, almost caught by the guy behind him. But good news for the Wolves, ball falls incomplete. So, with less than a minute left in the first half, Eastlake 14, Bothell 6. Kickoff coming. We'll see what happens. Pretty exciting play there. Not in the Wolves' favor, unfortunately, but it does make it more of a competitive game here as we get closer to the half. Wolves getting their kickoff return unit set up here. Bothell getting their kickoff unit set up here. They'll kick it away. It's C-team football. Anything can happen here, folks. Don't go anywhere. You can get your popcorn, you can get your drink at halftime, but this is 54.6 seconds of C-team football. You want to watch this. It can always get interesting. So Bothell kicks it off just like the Wolves. They put 5 guys on either side, kick it off from right in the middle of the field. That's number 4. He's been doing it all night. Hudson Hahn back to kick. Runs over to the sideline, gets a little instruction from his coach. What could that mean? Eastlake, maybe look for something here. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to go ahead and kick it deepish and towards his own sideline to Hunkins. Hunkins is going to return it. He picks it up at the 16. He's looking for a wall of people out to the right. He's got his wall. He's got blockers. He's got guys out in front of him. And this is a foot race at this point. There's one guy to beat. It's the kicker. He's got a block from Crandall, and Hunkins takes it the distance, 84 yards. Eastlake touchdown. When I tell you don't go anywhere, folks, I mean it. Touchdown Wolves, and it's 20-6. They get the score right back. Holy cow. Oh, I know Coach Ort is back there going absolutely bananas in the homeland of Idaho right about now. You just never know, do you? 37.3 seconds left. We'll see if Lightning can strike twice. Let's hope not, because they're going to get the ball back. But Eastlake's going to go ahead and it looks like keep the offense on the field to go for 2 right here. Interesting choice. Maybe after the high snap on the last one, they thought, well, what the heck, we'll just go for the 2. Wolves taking their time in the huddle. Officials kind of talking in their direction. Have to imagine they're probably being told, guys, pick up the pace a little bit here. We know it's a PAT, but you still have a play clock. Let's get this show on the road. Have to wonder if Eastlake's going to end up having to use their last timeout here, and that looks like they will. They're going to call a timeout because they're not organized on the try for 2 here. So offense is going to come back over to the sideline. Have to wonder what the miscommunication or what the issue was there, but we'll watch the replay of the kickoff return. Okay, it's George Hunkins running fast, but you can see he's got a convoy going down that sideline. That's Aniv Aradia, number 35, with a key block. Jack Crandall getting out in front of it. And boy, just watching that from the beginning was terrific. That you could see the Wolves trying to set up the wall. And as soon as George got across that right hash mark, the one closer to us on our sideline, it sure looked like it could break, and boy, did it. So nice job by the entire unit right there to get the blocking right, give George the space to run, and well, the guy's fast. We know that. We've seen it all year. So we've got the Super Freak going with Rick James right now. What else could you want on a Wednesday night, folks? Coach Ed Kinney out there with his offense at the 25-yard line, barking instructions, yelling at people, getting the right guys into the huddle, figuring out what's going to work here, and officials blow the whistle, and we're about ready to go. Last instructions here for the Wolves to come on out. Bothell's on the field. They'll be waiting. And here come the Wolves once again, led by number 65, big Matthew Fadul in the middle. And love talking about Matthew because we haven't had to talk about any snap issues tonight. He's done a terrific job, been very, very stable. Well, and then after all that, the Wolves are going to line up to just go ahead and kick the PAT. So leading 20-6, they're up 14. They're going to go for the one right here. Andrew Grant back. It'll be Crandall snapping. It'll be Karsh holding. Here's the snap. Ball's down, kicks up, no good. Kick came out low. It looked like it could have been tipped, but I don't think that had much chance anyways. Just kind of came out low. And so the Wolves will settle for a 14-point lead. It's 20-6. And there's 37 seconds left, which means the Wolves will be obligated to kick the ball off to the Cougars and then do their best to have a stiff defense. Cougars have all three of their timeouts, so depending on how they manage the clock and what the plays look like, they should probably be able to get 3, 4, 5 snaps out of this. Andrew Grant getting ready to tee the ball up. We'll hope the kickoff looks a little bit better than the PAT there. That's a little bit of rust. Andrew's been sidelined the last couple of weeks with an injury and his first game back, but I'm sure that hearing some Motley Crue getting fired up right now will help Andrew boot this one away. Wouldn't it be fun if Andrew just decided to hook a little onside kick towards his bench right here? We'll see what happens. I think he's going to kick deep, but it would have been fun. There he goes. Ball's kicked deep. It is down towards the Eastlake bench. Fielded to the 16-yard line by Bothell outside the numbers. That's number 8. Spin move, eludes a couple of tacklers, but he is brought down at the 31-yard line. Nice job by the Eastlake special teams unit right there to hem him in and not really give him a whole lot of room. So Abhinav Macha, whose name we've called a lot tonight, he's been a busy fella. Doesn't give up on the play, works his way back into it. He got credit on the loudspeaker. I think he was last guy on the scene there, but he did make some of the first contact as well. So we'll give Abhi a shout out. You don't have to convince me. I love that guy. So Bothell comes to the huddle. Once again, number 11, Tillman Hutton, leading his team out there. He's still got Wells in the backfield, number 18, big, tall fellow, speedy, elusive, not super powerful, but boy, he just doesn't take a lot of direct hits. Hand it off to Wells, and he's stacked up and met in the backfield, and I think there's going to be a hold on top of that. Eastlake is really overwhelming the front line of the Bothell Cougars here. This is just a completely different look than what the Wolves gave them in week 1. And what a difference. Just quick off the line right there, a little bit of penetration. There wasn't even a linebacker blitz there, but they're eating up blockers so much and causing so much chaos that Hunkins is running free a lot of the time and is just having his way. So with the hold, it'll push the ball back. Not sure if they're just going to mark off 10. Yeah, they're just going to mark off 10, move it back to the 21. So it'll be a 1st and 20 now for Bothell. 21 seconds left here in the first half. And the clock's running. So the Cougars aren't going to use their timeouts. They're just going to go ahead and try to run one last play here. I'm not even sure if they'll be able to get up to the line and run it. Eastlake should keep their eye on the clock and just be ready to rip. 4 down linemen, Brookshire and Hunkins at the linebackers once again. Brookshire flashes. It looks like he's going to go back. Wolves fall on top of Wells, who recovers the snap that's over the quarterback's head back at the 10-yard line, but it's all for naught. Clock runs out on the first half, and that'll do it. Halftime from Eastlake High School. It's Eastlake 20. It's Bothell 6. Folks, stay tuned. Here comes The Den with David Oliphant and Jeremy Budish. Take it away.
Get ready for another week of Eastlake Wolves football. The excitement starts now with an amazing pregame show live from The Den. Here are your hosts, David and Jeremy.
Welcome to the Friday night pregame show with David Oliphant and Jeremy Budish. We're here for the last regular season game of the year here at the Eastlake Stadium. And tonight is a very special evening. Tonight is senior night here against the Bothell Cougars, a very strong team in the Kinco Conference. And Jeremy, here in just a minute, we're going to get to watch a very special video put together by Jenny Johnson. And I think there was a vision of this from your wife, from Natalie Budish. Tell us a little bit about this video.
Yeah, so it was as we were coming into senior night, it was a vision of how do we how do we capture all of the seniors was my question to my wife as we were coming into the end of the year for our final den interview, and some brainstorming back and forth, and she and Jenny took this concept and ran with it. And I mean, really, that was the genesis, is how do we get all the seniors? We've had a lot of them on, but we've missed a few. We talked about that last week. And how do you capture those guys in their final regular season game? And the video that's going to follow is that, by itself is, a way for all of you to get a look and feel of who these young men are. They played a tough season. We'll see what happens tonight, if we get a playoff berth. And maybe we have a couple more weeks of football. Everybody hopes that. But yeah, that was the vision.
This is a special group of seniors, Jeremy. Some of these guys go back. I think of Brady Painter, his dad, Darren Painter's VP for the Booster Club, the WFA, going back to third grade. That's 10 years ago. And my son Estes played on that team. Darren was the head coach, and then his different kids played at different levels. We all coached at different times. You coached even at the high school the last couple of years, some of these guys. So we've got a deep connection to some of these guys, and you'll see in this video, and hats off to a whole bunch of people that contributed. I know that Chris Hanschka took a lot of videos in the youth years and made some special videos, but you'll see so many players in here. You'll see some of the stars like Miles Johnson and Colby Johnson, quarterback Ryder Barry Smith, and some of the linemen that are harder to pick out during the, just from the stats. But this group of guys has been there from the beginning, and a lot of these guys play other sports together, baseball or lacrosse or whatever. But this video is a really special tribute to the 2026 seniors. So with that, tonight we're going to show you the video, and then we will have a host of senior night events on the field. Jeremy and I will be down on the field with our sons and having a special moment there, and then we'll be up in the booth with you tonight for the game against Bothell. So, Jeremy, any other thoughts there?
No, I mean, like you said, Dave, both of us have a strong connection with all these young men, at one level or the other. And they're a special group of young men, obviously, because they're our son's age. I think that's what, makes our broadcast so fun and engaging, is the fact that we have that personal connection with these young men. Yeah. And we know their backstory. And so, yeah, I mean, I know I saw the video, I've seen a draft of it, before we came on tonight, and man, if you don't get a little bit choked up, I don't know what to tell you. So enjoy the video. Thank you to Jenny and Natalie for putting it together, and we'll be back up in the booth calling the game.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the video, and we'll be back here in just a bit.
I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass. I'm back in my helmet, cleats and shoulder pads. Standing in the huddle, listening to the call. Fans going crazy for the boys that fall.
I'm going to miss seeing my friends in the stands the most. I'm going to miss celebrating a big win in the locker room. Yeah.
I'm going to miss seeing my friends and family after the big game. I'm going to miss getting hyped in the locker room before a game.
I'm going to miss saying hi to my grandma in the stands
before every game.
Probably going to miss running out of the tunnel before the game starts.
I'm going to miss getting hyped with the guys before a game. I'm going to miss the stands getting hyped.
I'm going to miss...
Oh my God.
I'm going to miss celebrating with my teammates after a big win.
I'm gonna miss the Iowa win chance. One thing I'll miss about Friday nights the most is the fans hyping us up.
What I'm gonna miss about Friday Night Lights is the energy of the crowd.
They didn't let just anybody in that club. Took every ounce of heart and sweat and blood to get to wear those game day jerseys down the hall. The kings of the school, man, where the boys are fall. Well, it's turning face to stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's calling in the air, all right, yes sir, we want the ball. And it's knocking heads and talking trash. It's slinging mud and dirt and grass. It's I got your number, I got your back. When your back's against the wall, you mess with one man, you got us all. The boys are fall.
I think my dad would play linebacker. He played that in high school. He's a big guy. I think my mom would be a holder. She played volleyball. I think she'd be good at it. My mom would play wide receiver or safety, and my dad would play O-line. I think if my mom was on the team, she would probably play safety or receiver. My dad would play safety, and my mom would probably play quarterback.
My dad would play like right guard, and my mom would play like tight end.
My mom would probably play left tackle.
It's turning face to stars and stripes. It's fighting back them butterflies. It's calling in the air, all right, yes sir, we want the ball. It's knocking heads and talking trash. It's slinging mud and dirt and grass. It's I got your number, I got your back. When your back's against the wall, you mess with one man, you got us all. The boys are fall.
My pregame ritual is to listen to music and stretch.
My pregame ritual is to listen to music and just envision success.
My pregame ritual is to put my headphones on and listen to music, then play wall ball with Jacob.
Before every game, I like to listen to music and stretch. I would tell freshmen to take as many reps as possible. I would tell freshmen to work hard and value their time.
I would tell freshmen to enjoy every.
Well, folks, welcome back to the second half. Sorry we had to cut that video short there, but again, one of those that's available, just like everything else, on our YouTube channel, Wolves Football. Want to say thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Pretty cool to celebrate this team. The last game of the season, they bring in a 4-3 record. They're certainly in a good position here to add to that and finish on a winning note. Much different ball game than we saw week one with these same Bothell Cougars. Eastlake has really stiffened up on the defensive front, have not given quite as many running lanes, and Bothell's one score, a defensive touchdown. Of course, it was that guy, number 18, Tyler Wells, with the pick six near the end of the first half, but the Wolves with the big kickoff return from Hunkins get their score back. They lead 20-6 as we get ready to go here in the third quarter. Folks, want to say thanks once again to Sean Crandall for just the whole season of work this fella's put in next to me here. You don't hear him talking on the microphone, but everything you're hearing and seeing is his work. We can't say enough about Sean. Thanks, Sean, for doing this and for bringing Wolves football to people's homes. And I got to tell you, it was awfully nice last Friday night to be able to bring up the game at home and watch it, take advantage of that. So with the big guys. Well, the Wolves are going to kick off here to start the second half. Couple first half notes. Wolves get a rushing touchdown from Connor Karsh, a receiving and return touchdown from George Hunkins. So George has the receiving and the return touchdown. We'll see if he can get himself a rushing touchdown in the second half here and get on the board all three ways. That would be kind of special and fun. Bothell's got a handful of guys down in the corner of the end zone just joining the bench now, but I'm hearing motley crew. That must mean it's time to kick the ball off. Andrew Grant's addressing the football. The whistles have blown, and we are about ready to start the second half. Here we go. All right, Grant shakes out a couple last stretches, checks each side. I got five. You guys ready? I'm ready. You ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it, Andrew. Kick that ball away, son. Toe to leather, and off we go in the second half. Ball's kicked towards the sideline, takes a Wolves hop. Bothell's going to let it roll out of bounds. Wow, that almost wanted to come back in, but it ends up rolling out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. So Bothell, rather than attempting the return, will just go ahead and take the penalty for the kick out of bounds. Officials will walk the ball up. They'll mark it. I believe they'll mark that at the 35-yard line.
Ball's going to be spot at the 35-yard line for a Cougars first down.
So the Cougars come out here in the third quarter. They'll be facing a stiff Wolves defense that was really up to the challenge in the first half. We got a little bit of a... Nope, check that. Thought we might have had a new starter there on the defensive line to open the second half, but that's Charlie Jensen. So Bothell breaks the huddle quickly. They send out twins to the right, single receiver to the left, single back. We're ready for play. Bothell motions a runner across. High snap once again, but corralled by quarterback. He's going to try to dump it down in the flat. Just missed by Jack Crandall on the tackle. Wolves rally to the ball. And that's looked like that was an Aniv Aradia on the tackle, number 35 for the Wolves. Cody Peck in on the action as well, and it's a 6-yard pickup for Bothell to start the second half, and here we are underway. So almost disaster, but they turn chicken stuff into chicken salad, pick up 6, and it'll be second down and 4. Wolves with that 4-2-5 defense they've run all season with a strong safety to one side of the field, a nickel back to the other side of the field. Brookshire and Hunkins at the linebackers. Once again, high snap. That's going to become a problem if that keeps going. All right, so pair of 9s on the play. That's a number 9, Xavier Hayes, for Bothell on the catch up to the 43-yard line. He's tackled by Eastlake's number 9, Nico Frantella. Good to see Nico back in after a little scare at the end of the first half on that punt return. Don't know if you folks can hear that audio at home, but that's some pretty good stuff. We're getting high level in our production here in the stadium with a little rally call. It's third down and 2 for Bothell here, operating from their 43, hash mark near side, near the Eastlake bench. Bothell breaks the huddle, and they're in that power formation. They're shotgun, but they have a fullback, and I'm going to tell you right now the ball's going to 18. And there he goes, right up the middle. Oh, nope, that's number 22. Check that. 22 on the carry. That's Wyatt Peters. Same play, same result, though. Wolves blew through the line so much right there. It looks like they almost ran past the ball carrier. They got to keep their eyes up there as they're trying to fight off those blocks. But enough for a first down for Bothell, so they'll have it first and 10 now at their own 47.
Number 33, Ram Arishi. First down.
So here comes Bothell breaking the huddle. They'll send single receivers to either side. 2 guys in the backfield now, joining number 11, Tillman Hutton. It's a quick toss into the boundary, and that's going absolutely nowhere. Good grief. Yeah, Macha and Ort there in a hurry absolutely collapsed the left side of the Bothell line, and that is that never had a chance. We talked about running backs getting hit before they can really get their feet going in the first half, and there's a good example of it. That's quick and effective penetration by the defensive line. Loss of 6 on the play. My goodness. Boy, that makes a defensive coordinator look really smart and really happy if we could get a camera on him. Holy moly. That's good stuff. So Bothell backs up 6. They're going to come back out, working on the right hash mark close to the Eastlake bench. Once again in shotgun with split backs now, twins to the left. Number 11 back to pass. He's got a guy in the flat. That's number 8. Jack Crandall there spins him, doesn't bring him down, but then he gets help from his friends. So that's Trammell once again with the catch. Doesn't pick up much, picks up maybe 3.
Tackle shared by number 33, Rom Rishi, and 5, Connor Karch.
Good to see Rom Rishi in the game getting some run right now, and Rom brings a lot of speed. He's a fast guy and still learning how to play football in a lot of ways, but boy, is he a guy that just has a big, bright future. So 3rd and 13 for the Cougars here, operating from the 44-yard line. Here comes Hutton back into the huddle. He's got his play, breaks the huddle, sends the guys up. Here they are. Once again, as they usually do, operating in shotgun. They got that deep back that looks like that's Wells back there once again. Back to pass. He's going to scramble because there's nobody open downfield. And a nice tackle there as he comes to the line of scrimmage. Chris Brookshire comes up to fill it. Picks up 3, but I think on 3rd and 13, the Wolves will happily give up 6. That's not even half the yardage needed by the Cougars. They're right at midfield, and they'll have a 4th and 7 here if they want to keep the ball. They're going to have to pick up 7 yards. So Eastlake with a chance to make an early statement here in the second half. 5.5 minutes left. All right, so the Cougars break the huddle. They got trips out to the right. Single receiver left, trying to spread the Wolves out. And again, a high snap. Boy, that's a hold. Officials see it, so this play is going to be meaningless. We'll see. And the quarterback just falls down. I don't want to get hit by that guy 56 again. Why would I want to do that? It didn't feel good the first time. But the Wolves most likely here will just decline the penalty. That was 4th and 7. There'd be no reason on earth to accept this hold. Just go ahead and decline it, boys. Yeah, take the ball where he fell down. You got it in plus territory, and the big deal is you get the ball. So Wolves will take over on downs. They decline the penalty, and here comes the offense. Eastlake will have a chance to...
It's a holding call against the offense. The penalty be declined. Wolves first down.
So it took a couple of minutes off the clock, but Eastlake only gives up the 1 first down. They'll have the ball back here in plus territory, and just like in the first possession of the first half, Eastlake will start on the plus side of the 50. They have a short field. We'll see if they can take advantage of it here. While the boys huddle up and we change possession and reset everything, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, Kinson and Kinson Homes. Thanks, Debbie Kinson, for all your support over all the years for Eastlake football and other various sports and clubs at Eastlake High School. Kinson and Kinson Homes, your East Side and Seattle home experts. Well, here comes the offense. We got all the Halloween classics playing tonight. Big shout out to John Tracy over there, the DJ aficionado, just doing the work. Snap to Karsh. Here comes Hunkins. They're trying to run a little lead play. Cuts it back against the grain, and this one looks like it has some room. He picks up 9. He tries to cut it back up inside. Might have been better going to the boundary out there. I don't say that about George very often. He usually tries to turn everything into a home run and runs 2 sideways, but that time cuts it up. He might have been better trying to get outside the numbers, but it's still a gain of 9, and once again, just taking his lemons and making it lemonade. Bothell had that play bottled up, and George just cuts back across the grain. Hey, no problem, no panic. Let's just go get some yards. That'll bring up a 2nd and 1 for Eastlake. They'll be on the far hash closer to the Bothell bench now. Here comes Karsh with the play. Coach Ed Kenny's got to be very happy with the efficiency of his offense tonight, other than stalling out in the red zone there at the end of the first half. The offense has been effective. They've been consistent. They've only had the 1 mistake with jumping off sides on account. Really, really good work by the Eastlake offense top to bottom tonight. All the guys should feel pretty good about this performance. A little bit of a low snap there, but just going to run up the middle. That's Hunkins. Bounces off of a tackler, works his way across the 30 and falls forward. Looks like the officials will mark it down at about the 27 or 28-yard line, and certainly enough yardage to pick up a first down for Eastlake. So the officials wind the clock. The ball's spotted. It is at the 27, and Wolves have a fresh set of downs here. Karsh is back to the sideline talking to his coaches, getting the play, getting loved up. A little encouragement from his offensive line coach there, Derry Hansen. Don't talk enough about Derry. Boy, that guy just does a great job with these guys up front. There's nowhere to go in football if you don't have the guys up front paving the road, and Derry is a dandy. He does a fine job with these guys, and it's just been growth week by week by week. It's plain as day to see on the field. So thanks, Derry, for all of your time this season. We sure appreciate you, man. Karsh behind center. Not quite an empty backfield, but they give a little jet sweep look. Instead, they run the quarterback power, and once again, Karsh is just quicker than quick. Too much for Bothell. He's into the end zone. That's an Eastlake touchdown. Eastlake 26, Bothell 6, PAT pending, and let's just say it, at this point, the Wolves are cruising.
The quarterback keeper by number 5, Connor Karsh.
So what will the Wolves do? Will they kick the PAT? Will they go for 2? Here comes Karsh to the sideline. They're sitting on 26. It looks like the offense is staying out there. I don't see a kicking pad, and I don't see a number 20 in the game. So I think we're going to see an offensive play here, and the Wolves will go for 2. Boy, I say this a little tongue-in-cheek, but I'm just going to giggle if the Eastlake Wolves actually draw themselves a delay of game penalty on a PAT. They just take all the time they want. If you folks at home are watching this and you do need to get up and use the restroom or maybe get a fresh cup of tea or a little more popcorn, you know, just wait for the PAT. Here's the handoff to Hunkins, and after all that, he gets stuffed in the backfield. That was going nowhere, unfortunately. So the Wolves they're just going to have to settle for a 20-point lead here with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in the third quarter. Lots of quick penetration here. We're going to watch the touchdown again here, though, for Karsh. And once again, that's that little GT counter there. You see Charlie Jensen pull around, and he gets up in front of him there, and the whole defense sold out to stop the running back, and didn't really account for Connor there. So between Connor's legs and the extra blocking, big play for the Wolves and a pretty easy touchdown all in all. Well, folks, once again, we'll remind everybody that the Eastlake Wolves varsity plays this Friday night against Newport coming across town from over there near Factoria. They'll have to come out here to the plateau to play the Wolves in what they call a conference crossover game. And tickets are available. An email came out today. If you didn't get it from Amy Hill in the athletic department office, you can pay cash at the gate. You can also buy online. Come on out and support the Wolves this Friday night as they fight for a chance to get into the state tournament. So here comes Grant ready to kick it away. We've got Motley Crue, we've got Andrew Grant, and we've got a kick down the Bothell sideline. That one's winding towards the out of bounds, and it will go out right about the 25-yard line. So I think once again we'll have the Bothell Cougars marked off up to the 35, and that's where they'll start their operation here.
Which will spot the ball about 35 at the 35-yard line for the Cougars. First down.
Hey, I'm on mute. Can I put in a request for before the end of the night? Can you play that Dua Lipa song you play? The dance all night? Yeah, she's dead sexy. All right. Flag in the backfield there. Got a completion out here to the far side, number 10.
Pass complete to number 10, Colin Moore. There's a flag on the play.
That flag is most definitely in the area of holding. You have to wonder if this one's going to come back. This could be all for naught.
Flag is waved off.
Okay, so the officials decided to pick it up. I'm not sure what they saw, and then changed their mind about what they didn't see.
And that's good enough for a Cougar first down.
Now they can't figure out whether they want to spot it at the 49 or the 50, but we're going to go ahead and walk this back to the 49. We don't know what's happening. Stop the clock. We're going to sort it out. Okay, and away we go. So the Cougars will have it first and 10. Nice start to their drive here. Eastlake comfortably ahead, 26-6 here. 20-point lead in the late stages of the third quarter. Handoff. That's number 8 coming around.
Ball carried by number 8, Bryce Trammell.
Trammell once again falls forward.
Tackled by the Wolves, number 33, Ron Rishi. Number 5, Connor Karsh. It's second down.
This is kind of nice to see with the big lead the Wolves pull out Hunkins and Brookshire at the linebackers. You got Rob Rishi in there now playing linebacker. Jack Crandall slides down to the secondary to play linebacker. Okay, we had some technical difficulties there. That one's on me. Apologize for that, fans. I was just saying it's nice to see the Wolves getting a few guys in that don't get a lot of run, but this is what kind of happens sometimes. You go to the bench and the guys who don't get quite as many reps, and you get some breakdowns in the defense. So the Cougars able to connect on a long ball and get behind the Wolves defense. That's good for a touchdown. And Wolves, they cut into the Wolves lead. It's now 26-12 with the PAT coming for the Cougars. They're not done yet. So we'll see if Eastlake can hold their water here and not jump off sides on this PAT attempt for Bothell. They want that block in the worst way. Understand, boys. Understand. You got to wait for them to snap the ball. Here we go. It's number 4, Hudson Hahn back to kick once again. Snap is good. The kick looks good. And it is. So Bothell 13, Eastlake 26. So the Wolves still with a 2-score lead here. And all will be forgiven if the offense can continue to do what they've been doing all night, which is move the ball down the field effectively and eat time off of that clock. I want to say thanks to Father John Tracy once again. Not only the best in the business, folks, he does request. He's playing Dua Lipa right now just for yours truly. I appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, let's see the touchdown again. Why not? So you see a nice clean pocket there for number 11. That's Hutton once again, and just unfortunately a breakdown in the coverage from the Wolves. And you move Jack Crandall down from the secondary in to play some linebacker for a couple of snaps, and you get a couple guys in there, and that's how they learn. Sometimes we have to make a mistake or two, and then we coach them up and we learn from that, and we're better the next time. So lots of game left for these Wolves, and the best part about it, guys, at home, these kids have 3 more years of high school football after this. So they've got big, bright futures in front of them. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So here's Hahn once again kicking for the Cougs, and he'll boot it away to Eastlake. Onside kick here. And it looks like that's Cody Peck over there on the front line that fell on it. Oh, nope. Excuse me. That's Chris Brookshire. Probably ought to know who that guy is. He's okay.
Successful there by the Cougars. Chris Brookshire recovering that.
So that took a tricky hop, but Chris does a nice job of falling on top of it. Didn't get a clean catch, but was able to recover the ball for the Wolves, and they'll start in Bothell territory at the 46-yard line. So a little bit of a break for the Wolves right there. Probably should have seen that one coming. I don't know if this team has a hands team. That's one of those things that's a luxury to have if you've got the time to install it. And these guys only get so much practice time in a week. It's a lot, folks. Believe me, it's a lot. So the Wolves break the huddle. Here comes big Matthew Fadula once again leading that line up there. Trips to the left here for Karsh. Single receiver out to the right. We got a little motion out there. It looks like Hunkins is just a decoy. That was quarterback keeper all the way. Karsh dragging defenders with him all the way down inside the 25-yard line. My goodness. 23-yard gain for Karsh on the first play of the drive, and he cuts the field in half. So Wolves will have a first down near the red zone. Not quite in there, but yeah, once again, that motion play with Hunkins as a decoy out of the backfield takes the defense. Their eyes go with them. If their feet don't, their eyes at least do, and that's more than enough time for Connor to bust out and get a big gainer on the first play of the series. So Wolves will have it 1st and 10 at the Bothell 23 now, and this is the point in time where Coach Ed Kinney has the luxury of making choices. Do I want to eat clock, or do I want to go for the home run here and just put a fork in this thing? We'll see what he chooses to do. Jack Randall checks into the game as an up back. Pistol look here for the Wolves. Karsh behind center, Hunkins behind him. And they're going to hand it off to Hunkins. He's going to follow his blockers all around that right side. Gets a lot of space. He bounces off of tackler at the 10, cuts it back against the grain, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown, Eastlake. So Hunkins gets his rushing touchdown. That's 3 on the night for George. That's a hat trick, folks. And for those of you who don't watch a lot of football, I can't begin to tell you how unique this is to have a rushing, catching, and return touchdown in the same game. That's not something you see at any level very often. So pretty special night for number 13. Congratulations, George. That's one you'll remember for a really long time, I have no doubt. So Eastlake gets their lead padded back up to 19 with the PAT coming. We'll see if Andrew can get this little thing off the ground a little better than last time. We don't need any low-flying objects. Crandall into snap, Karsh to hold. Snap's good, ball's down, kick is up, and kick hits the upright. Wow. Plenty of leg on that one, but just hits the upright. And good time to say hi to my partner in crime, Jim. Still miss you, man. Wish you were here. But, boy, don't you know the agony of when it hits the post, both in hockey and in football. So, Wolves 32, Cougars 13. And it was a clean operation on the PAT. There's replay of the touchdown run by Hunkins. You see him bounce off a tackle there at the 11-yard line or so, and the Cougars just over-pursued, and at that point he just has a walk into the end zone. So, nice blocking at the point of the attack by the Wolves. You saw Crandall pull across that formation, and they basically just run a power there over the right side behind big 77, Jack Ort. And if you're going to run behind a big fella, he's a good one to choose. So, well, we're back to kicking off again with 52 seconds left here, third quarter, and Crandall booted away. We'll see if we can keep this one in bounds. Kicks it out to the numbers, takes a hop right to the back. Looks like that's number 8 out there, if I'm not mistaken. He's got it up the sideline. He's twisting, he's turning, he's knocked out of bounds right about the 40-yard line. Pretty hard to tell over there by the Bothell sideline, but looks like the official's going to mark it right about the 40. We'll see. It'll be first down for the Cougars. The tackle on the play was made by Abhinav Macha, who's been very busy tonight. Had a heck of a game for Big 32. All right, the Wolves get a few other guys in the game tonight. Steele Simpson checking in now on the defensive line. Good to see Steele getting out there and mixing it up. Looks like Julian, is that Julian out there that's in the game on the D-line? We'll get a number on that for you folks in just a sec. Cougars come out with twins to the right, single back, single receiver out to the left near their sideline there. Yeah, it's more or less a legal formation. They fake a little handoff there. Diving attempt at the catch there by number 10. That's Colin Moore, but he's just not quite tall enough to reach it. That ball was just a little too far away from him, so incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Cougars. Then we got Sean Goldie up here in the booth, and Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a Bothell alum. That is correct, okay. Any mixed feelings about this one? Go Wolves, okay, that's from the AD's husband himself, my former defensive colleague, Sean Goldie. Go Wolves. No hesitation either. I just want to make sure that I'm clear about that. Zero hesitation. That's go Wolves all the way. Okay. So the Cougars break it. Here they go. They got twins to the right. Now he's going to motion number 9 across, get set back over on the left side. Once again, a little bit of a high snap. Big penetration fast from Ram Rishi there. Holy cow. He flew in there like a flash. It took a little help from his friend. It looked like that was Frantella that came in and helped finish it off, but that had no chance.
Number 32, Abhinav Macha.
Guys, I think that was 3-3. I think that was Rishi. Yeah.
Correction, that was number 33.
We want to give Ram his props because he doesn't get as much run. He's a very capable football player. We want to make sure Ram is getting all of his attaboys for a job well done right there. He really shot the gap on that. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. So when we come back, Bothell will be facing a 3rd and 12, and Wolves are enjoying a 19-point lead. We'll see if they can salt this one away. 10 minutes of football left, not in the game, folks, in the season. We've enjoyed doing this for you and had a great time bringing you these broadcasts, growing with these young men who have put themselves in a position to end the season with a nice 5-3 record. So I want to give shout-outs to our sponsors here before we get any further in this. Let's give thanks to our friends at Bradley Distributing. Bradley Distributing, thank you very, very much. Your Appliances, helping families all across the east side with trusted appliances and, very importantly, great service. Thank you, Bradley Appliances, for your support of Wolves football. And we want to give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Pape Material Handling. Thank you, Dave Oliphant, for bringing us to Pape and for Pape supporting Eastlake Wolves football. Pape Material Handling. So Rishi stays in the game with Crandall at the linebackers. We got some new fellows across the front. 75, that's Steele Simpson up there. Peck stays in the game. Jensen stays in the game. You got to have guys to harass the quarterback, don't you? Reese Wegworth checking in at a corner near side to us. And we'll bring you updates on the rest. It's good to see, though, guys like Karsh Hunkins over on the bench now getting a little bit of a rest, letting some of the other guys get some run here. Cougars run that same jet sweep motion they ran earlier. They hand it off to number 22, but he's bottled up in a hurry. The defense rallies right to him. That's Wyatt Peters on the carry, but boy, oh boy, Wolves do an excellent job right there, working off of blocks and tackling as a team. They hold him to just a 2-yard pickup, and the Cougars are going to be facing 4th and 10. All right, so Bothell goes to work. They got the big guy Wells back in the backfield once again, it looks like. Got to imagine they're throwing here. Once again, a high snap. Ball's on the ground, and this is going to go nowhere. Doesn't matter who falls on it. It's 4th down. Eastlake will want to. It's Ram Rishi. Good for you, Ram. Eastlake, of course, wants to come up with the fumble recovery, and they sure do. But either way, they were going to get the ball back right there. And Wolves have the ball once again in Bothell territory. They'll start at the 36-yard line, and just a really, really nice defensive stand there with the backups. I think they've got to feel real good about that, especially after giving up the long touchdown pass on the previous series. So offense back on the field. Jack Ort doing his happy dance once again. If you guys, yeah, it's unfortunate it's off camera, but the big man was doing his little thing there. It was, I don't even know how to describe that. It's kind of like he kind of looked like a kid on a unicycle. You know, he's just twirling his arms out to the side, and he's kind of got the feet going. It's a good look for the big fella. Very nimble. Wolves break the huddle. Rishi stays in the game at running back now. Love to see that. That's great. Let's get this guy a couple of carries, and let's block it up for him up front. Okay, so Julian Meyer pulls across. They run a little trap up inside there. And Ram breaks the ball down inside the 25. Great first carry for Ram Rishi. And folks, make no mistake, this is one man's opinion, but this guy is going to be a part of the future backfield at Eastlake High School. He is a really good athlete and just brand new to football and learning how to play the game in his second year. And great to see him getting some opportunities here at the end of this game. And yeah, let's call it what it is. It's late fourth quarter and what's a lopsided contest, but that's a good piece of run in there inside and in small spaces, and you see how shifty he is. He is going to be a very, very big part, I think, of the future of this program. So Karsh back out to the huddle, and here they come once again. Matthew Fadul leads the line up there. Ooh, a little hop, skip, and a jump there from 56. Chris Brookshire, he's feeling it. Rishi offset to the right, trips to the left for Karsh here. I'd imagine that the Wolves will probably keep the ball on the ground at this point, but they're, of course, right on cue. They go to the air. Connor rolls right, doesn't see anything he likes, gets knocked forward by Bothell, stays on his feet, gets spun down inside the 10, and like a pinball on a course with destiny, Karsh finds his way down inside the 10, and it's going to be goal to go for the Wolves at the Bothell 9-yard line. And this is something else. That's using kinetic energy to your advantage, and if the kids are taking physics class, they're learning all about kinetic energy right now. Eight minutes and 11 seconds left here for the Wolves as they once again, you could put a pizza in the oven while these guys work out between plays. At this point, there's no need for urgency with a 3-score lead, but yeah, here comes some whistles. Are we going to get a... Okay, here we go. Trips to the left for the Wolves. Rishi still in the backfield with Karsh. Connor's asking for the ball. Here we go. Snaps on the money. Inside handoff to Rishi. He's up the middle. He runs over a tackler. He falls forward. He's down at the 2.
Ball carried by number 33, Ram Rishi for the Wolves.
Ram Rishi on the carry once again. That's a pickup of 7. Case and Goldie checking into the game at receiver now. And you can see the wall just form there with Julian pulling across on that little trap. Ram runs right behind that little seal block and very effective right up the gut there. So they're going to mark the ball. Excuse me, we'll correct that. Mark it at the 3. That's a gain of 6 for Ram. But it'll be 2nd and goal for the Wolves here as we come up on 7 minutes left, 4th quarter. Karsh coming in from the sideline. I think he phoned in his after-game dinner order to somewhere, probably the Pine Lake Ale House. Got to get some carry out from over there. Little confusion by the Wolves. They get a line now, empty backfield, and play's blown dead here. Not sure what happened. We might have gotten a timeout from the Eastlake bench. Oh, we got to delay a game.
Delay game.
And I got to admit, to this man's eyes, that one actually seemed quick by Wolves standards, but the officials get him for the delay of game, so they'll back him up 5. Back to the 8-yard line now, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 8. Clock winds, and here we go. Wolves in the huddle. Karsh has the play. We'll get him up to the line a little faster this time, I've got to imagine. Here they come. Trips out to the left. Goldie by himself out to the right. Rishi offset to the right. Now Connor moves him up to the line. It's going to be an empty backfield. So Connor straight back to pass. Rolls a little bit to the right. Checks down. Looks into the flat. And he tries for Goldie in the corner right by the pylon. Pretty decent defense by number 10 over there. That's Colin Moore, but I think he was there a little bit early. There's a flag on the field, and that looks a lot like he climbed right over Kaysen's back. That's probably going to be a PI. We'll see what the officials have to say. He did get the ball, but he definitely climbed over the receiver to do it. So, yes, pass interference, the indication. And since it happened right down there by the goal line, I've got to imagine the officials will...
Pass interference called against the Cougars.
So they'll mark off the yardage. Instead of a spot foul like we'd see on a Saturday or a Sunday, they're just going to walk the ball half the distance. Bothell fans are booing. They don't like it, but I've got to tell you, you're all middle-aged too, and I'm telling you, you can't see from that far away. He was early. I promise. Wolves break the huddle with twins to the right. They're going to hand it off to Rishi right up the middle. He's going to go over left guard behind the fellas over there, and he is into the end zone. That's a touchdown, Eastlake. That's the good news. The bad news is we got a player down on the field.
Number 33, Ram Rishi, taking the ball in the end zone for the Wolves. We have an injury timeout.
So once again, we'll see the replay right here. Look to me up again. It's that little trap play where Julian comes around, but he basically runs right behind Matthew and Chris, and Rishi's able to fall into the end zone. Congratulations, Ram, on your first touchdown of the game. That's terrific. Okay. So we've got an injury on the field. They're still out there, kind of hiding behind the Eastlake players. Not sure if you folks can see this at home, but in the meantime, we'll use our chance here to go ahead and talk about our sponsors. We'll say, once again, thank you, LBM Travel Incorporated. Thank you for your support, LBM Travel. Let Leanne be your expert guide to travel and savings. Thank you, Leanne. We hope a lot of folks come your way with the holiday season fast approaching.
Wolves line up for the extra point.
And with this PAT pending, we'll one more time say thanks to Cheryl Hill. Cheryl Hill Compass Real Estate, helping Sammamish neighbors find their place to call home. Always nice to talk about Cheryl on a PAT too, because our guy Riley Rue, he does some long snapping, just like our guy on the field down there right now, number 3, Jack Crandall. He'll be snapping, Karsh will be holding. It's a good snap, ball's down, kick is up. And holy heck.
That's Crandall to Karsh. Grant.
And Grant has the ball up, and it's good. So Wolves tack on the PAT, and it's now 39-13 Eastlake really working up the home cooking now with 6:05 left. They're up by 26. So, game well in hand for the Wolves. And yes, I said it in the first half, it's C-team football and anything can happen. But when you're up by 4 scores at home this late in the game, I think the Wolves should be able to salt this one away. Well, folks, I'm told by Sean Crandall, our master technician, that this has the most viewership of any C-team game we've had this year. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and joining us tonight. Wish you could be here in the stadium, but for whatever reason that you can't make it, maybe you live out of town, maybe you're traveling, we're just glad you could join us and enjoy this game, the send-off for these fellas as we get ready to go into the offseason. And for a lot of these ball players, they're multi-sport athletes. They might have a winter sport coming up or a spring sport coming up, and just a lot of fun to watch these young fellas compete and do their thing out here. So, Wolves are missing a player on their kickoff unit. The kicker, Andrew Grant, will figure that out. Here comes Ram Rishi to fill in the blank. So now they got 11. We can do this now. Good to see all those math classes are paying off. We've got Motley Crue. We've got Grant backpedaling. We've got the official with a whistle. And we're ready to boot it away. 6:05 left, fourth quarter. Here comes the kick. And Grant boots it away. Ball is going to go straight out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. And once again, the Cougars, no return. They'll just take the ball at the 35 and get to work.
Kickoff goes out of bounds. The ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line. First down, Cougars.
Have to think at this point, with so many of those going out of bounds, that Andrew's probably been instructed by his coaches, hey, let's not even give these guys a chance to return the ball. We'll just go ahead and let them start at the 35. That works. The defense has been doing solid work for the most part tonight. Let's give these guys a nice long field. So, again, you got Steele Simpson there. It looks like in there, number 75 at a D tackle. Looks like the Wolves are missing a defensive end. That's never a good thing to be without. Rishi comes up to the line. Another high snap. It's over the quarterback's head, and he just falls on it. That's unfortunate. They coach him to do that. He didn't. He's frustrated, and he just chucks the ball at the official. It's not the official's fault, buddy, but we get it. You're frustrated. So Bothell will walk backwards.
Brings up second down.
It'll be second down and 21 now for the Cougars. I think Hahn, he's listed at 5'7", 133 on their roster. And it's amazing what a difference it makes when your other quarterback's 5'10". The high snap that the other guy can kind of corral, it's just a little bit out of reach for this fellow number 4. And we'll see if Bothell can just snap the ball, run a few offensive plays here so everybody can get their work. Fakes the handoff up inside. He's going to roll out hard against the grain. There's a flag down behind the play. You have to think that's probably a holding. He tries to find a receiver out there near the original line of scrimmage on and out, but ball falls incomplete, and I think we're going to have a hold back here. Just got a text from a viewer in Littleton, Colorado, Gabe Brookshire, saying, hello, not the official's fault, buddy. Yes, no doubt about that. I'll echo that sentiment. Gabe is a high school coach and a high school official, does some baseball umpiring, and understands sometimes players get a little bit frustrated. Just getting a little bit poopy at the end of I don't know if we'd call this a blowout yet. Maybe it is, but frustrating night, no doubt, no matter how you slice it. And Bothell marches back even further. They're not gonna snap the ball from their own 14-yard line. So this is going from bad to worse if you're a Cougars fan. So ball snap, runs right up the middle. Nice job right there to just hang on. Jack Crandall, he absorbs a lot of energy from number 3, Dalton Catchell, but holds on and gets a little help and wrangles the ball carrier down. So Bothell now into a much more manageable 3rd and 23. And I think both sides pretty content to just go ahead and play football at this point, let the clock run. Nobody's trying to go fast. Nobody's trying to use their timeouts to prolong the game. This one's in hand at this point. Both sides just looking to get their work. Keep the players safe and ready to go on to whatever's next. So Micah Schiff checked in the game at defensive tackle now for the Wolves. That's good to see. See Micah penetrating in the backfield. That's 4 rolling out. He's got the ball in his right hand. He doesn't throw with that hand, by the way. Gets run out of bounds by Crandall at about the 23, 24-yard line.
Hudson Hahn for the Cougars. First out of bounds by number 3, Jack Crandall.
So that's all the way up to the 23 for the Cougars. We'll call that one no gain, and it's 4th and a whole bunch. I'm not sure if they'll keep their offense on the field here or just punt it away, but either way you slice it, they've got a long way to go and a lot of work to do here. So good to see Macha in the game, working at defensive end over there. Got Andrew Bowler in the game at defensive tackle now. That's fun. And the Cougars kick it away. Hahn is their place kicker after all. Makes sense that he'd do the punting, and they boot the ball across midfield. The Wolves will take over at the 41-yard line, their own 41. And here comes the offense. Or at least a lot of it. Got a few guys now getting some run that we haven't seen yet. Lincoln Reynolds checks into the game at a receiver. See if we can find him a catch before this is said and done. I see number 28, Tanuj Acharya out there getting some run. That's great to see. And this guy just doesn't miss a beat. John Tracy getting the Britney Spears into the house, keeping the energy up with the fans here. It's getting late, but we're getting toxic. I wonder if Jack Hort can dance to this one. He's got to have some moves for this, doesn't he? So Karsh in the game, and then Jack Crandall checks in at running back now. He's going to hand it off to him up the middle. He bounces off a tackle, but there was penetration from Bothell early, and that ball, he gets tackled for a short loss. He's going to be pushed back to the Eastlake 40.
For a loss, that brings up 2nd down.
Ryder Ongst in the game now at left guard for the Wolves. Good to see Ryder out there. Second and 11 for Eastlake here. 3:32 left in the 4th quarter, so we're just counting the ticks, folks. We're about 200 seconds away from the end of this really fun season for these Wolves. Karsh comes off the sideline for the 837,000th time with the play. Breaks the huddle. Here comes big Matthew Fadul up there. Hasn't had a bad snap all night. Got to say it because you just got to acknowledge centers who are just consistent. And we see that with what's happened on the other side tonight. And you just appreciate a guy who's just getting the job done for you. Crandall goes hard over right guard there, picks up 4 the hard way, and that is a physical run for Jack. He pays a price to pick up a few yards, but is able to turn it into a 4-yard gain. So Eastlake is into a 3rd down and 8, and we're now under 3 minutes. And this is where you just don't mind seeing the Wolves take their time in the huddle. I mean, why not? We can start talking about what are you doing Friday night. Of course I'm going to the game. Yeah, well, aren't you? Yeah, I'm going to the game. Are you going to dress up? I don't know. Are they going to have trunk or treat in the parking lot? I thought that was just for grade school kids. These guys have a lot of stuff to figure out there in the huddle, guys. It's a little bit like that old Bull Durham movie where they don't know what to buy the people for the wedding out there at the mound visit. Wolves are sorting all kinds of stuff out there on the field. You're getting Lincoln Riley lined up in the slot. He's tiptoeing out there towards the hash mark. Finally gets settled. They're in a pistol. Low snap. Karsh hands it off. It's Crandall. He's over the right side. Picks up a couple. And that'll bring up a 4th and 5. Down to a minute 45 left. Karsh over to the sideline to talk to Coach Ed Kinney, and we'll see if Coach Ed wants to run one more play here or if he's just going to punt the ball away to Bothell, but we're down to 90 seconds. You'd love to think that some of these guys might be taking home ec at school and maybe they're exchanging recipes for Thanksgiving coming up. I kind of doubt that's what's happening in the huddle. One never knows. Karsh is finally out there with the play. There's 5 seconds left. They're going to pick up another delay of game here, undoubtedly. Wolves won't bother burning a timeout. They'll just take the penalty yards. Oh, they do call a timeout. I stand corrected. So the Wolves take their timeout. We weren't organized enough. Come on back over here. We burned a bunch of time. Minute 4 left, folks. We're counting them down here. Wishing every one of you a happy Halloween, by the way. Again, if you don't have plans on Halloween, or if you're like me and you're kind of one of those get off my lawn type people, come on down to the stadium Friday night. Big game here at home. Eastlake takes on Newport. Playoff implications, of course, this time of year. And so we need the support for the varsity guys. Come on down. We'd love to see you down here at the stadium this Friday night, Eastlake versus Newport. Well, and what might be the last bumper music of the game here, we've got Michael Jackson with Smooth Criminal. Now, I don't know about you, Sean, but I was always kind of partial to the Alien Ant Farm version of this song. It's a little more up-tempo. They're really good. Yeah, you might want to pull that one up at some point. Wolves break the huddle near the 40-yard line on their own sideline. They're out there waiting for some company. Bothell's still over by the 50 on their own sideline, getting some late instruction. A couple Wolves with their helmets off down there on the sideline. I see Andrew Grant. I see Chris Brookshire. Hudson Barbeau, number 61 there with his jersey, never did get healthy this year. Sure hope he can get healthy and join the squad next year for the fun. There's Finn 7, number 11. Always kind of fun to say. The guy, his last name is 7, his number is 11. Finn got injured in practice Monday. We missed him tonight, and it's unfortunate, but hopefully he'll be okay. So Connor fakes the handoff going over the left side, keeps it himself. He's going to dash over the 50-yard line, and just enough to pick up the first down. That'll stop the clock with the moving of the chains, but it will be a first down for the Wolves, and they will go to victory formation after this, and you can book it. Okay, 53 seconds left. It's just a formality at this point. Guys on the sideline are putting their helmets back on. They're getting ready to go over and say thanks and good game to the fellas across from them. And the Wolves certainly got their measure of revenge tonight for their loss in the opener. It was 21-19 up at Bothell in week 1 in a fairly frustrating game for the Wolves. They had some really good things happen. Of course, didn't take advantage of some opportunities. Had a little trouble on the defensive side with giving up gobs of yardage. But tonight, the tackling very sound. Defense very sound. And right now, the Wolves in what amounts to a victory formation, just all the linemen fall over there, and that's going to do it. There's a wrap. We'll show you the replay just for funsies here, but Connor takes a knee, and that'll do it, folks. It's been a ball doing this. Missed you tonight, Jim Ort. Have a great time out there in Idaho. We'll see you Friday night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Final score, Eastlake 39, Bothell 13. The Wolves finish at 5-3 on the season, and bright futures ahead. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.